Hello and welcome to another Skaredcast tournament in review. It's been way too long since my last tournament, so this time I go back to one and relearn how to play Warhammer 40,000.
The Dark King.
Welcome to the tournament in review. Of course, I have a 2,000 point Drukhari competitive list. I'm taking it to a team event in London, Ontario, Canada, and the format of one of these is quite simple. I take a list, play the games, talk about my list, and then show you what happens, and then come back to the studio and break down all of the little things that I liked and disliked about building that list or using it, and then we adapt it and we learn, and hopefully you learn something too. Right now I'm practicing to go to the Champions Cup, which is a large team event happening in Houston, Texas. I'll be there this weekend. And I'm also practicing to go to the Stud or Snotling event, which is a large team event that's happening in Guelph, Ontario, or Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. This is literally the week after. So lots of 40k coming up. I also want to give a huge shout out to all of you. The channel recently hit 30,000 subscribers. Amazing. I couldn't have done this without all of you. I hope you enjoy all the games, the learning, and all the stuff that we do here on the channel. So I will be doing a sort of like giveaway 30,000 subscriber video thing. So stay tuned for that. Of course, if you like the video, like it, share it, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, let me know what sort of stuff you'd like to see from me in the future. But you're here to take a look at the list. So let's go over that. And here is my infamous 2,000 point double Void Raven Bomber list. The link to this list will be down in the description below. But this is the list that Team Canada took to the WTC this year, and it was the highest scoring list of the entire roster all weekend long, or all event long. John piloted this list masterfully, and it works. So this is the list I will be taking to this event and to various others. It is a Sky Splinter Assault list. We start with a single Archon with a blast pistol. We have my Warlord Archon, Skari himself, with a blast pistol as well. We do have a Court of the Archon, they're one of the best units I find, and a small unit of 5 Incubi. We also have Lilith Hesperax, who is just incredible. I'm always a proponent of the Beastmaster, so make sure you look at what this data sheet does. The models are hard to source, so as you can see here, I've made some from like a spell set from the Beastman spells and some wargs from Lord of the Rings. I do have a metal Claude Fiend and a metal Beastmaster, but you can use like a Hellion for that and like an Ogre of some sort on a 40 mil base for that one. In the battle line, we have 10 Witches. We have 2 units of 10 Kabalite Warriors with all the upgrades. To round out the list, we have 2 Chronos, 2 units of 5 Mandrakes, dedicated transport-wise, 1 Raider, and 3 Venoms with double Splinter Cannon. And then we have 1 unit of 5 Scourge with the Dark Lances, 1 unit of 5 Scourge with Haywire Blasters, and of course, the meat and potatoes of the list, 2 Void Raven Bombers armed with the D-Scythes and the missiles on each one as well. And there you have it, 2,000 points on the nose. Let's take it to the event and see how it does. And don't forget, we'll come back to the studio, take what we learned from the event, and then break it down and make some changes to this list if it's warranted. And it's tournament day. I'm here at the Game Chamber in London, Ontario. It's an 8-person team event. Let's dive in, playing for Stud or Scrub today. Get excited. Everybody's getting ready. We got captain's chat and stuff happening. And this is the Game Chamber. There are 4 teams here, 4 teams of 8. And so there's 16 tables ready to rock and roll because we're doing a full WTC style event. And it's a film. And here we are, round number 1. Of course, the Stud team is going full random because why not? We're just practicing for the Stud or Snotling big team event later in the month. I get to play against Will and his Demons, and we're playing Mission H. This is one of the light tables for the WTC, and so it is supply drop, which means one of the objectives will remain. Super fancy. We'll see how it goes against like Bellicor and big 4+ Feel No Pain Fatty over there. So we'll see if he doesn't just stand on an objective and say, "Come get some." Oh no, we'll see.
What a tale of a game. I did lose it, 11-9 WTC scoring. I did have end of the game. However, Be'lakor was able to survive and get 20 points to swing it with another secret mission, whereas I just needed to kill Shalaxi, who's left with 3 wounds remaining, with a clutch reroll, wound roll here at the end of the game, keeping her alive, but stopped me from scoring another 5 points for Assassinate. This was a game of little tiny things that could have gone either way. This one disappeared, and of course, luckily the Demons had that objective, which was the one they were kind of hoping would stay till the end of the game, the Omega, and it did. However, what a fantastic match. With that, let's see how the rest of the round went. Let's go to round number 2. So we did tie the first round. We actually had a couple of rough matchups because the team is we're doing random pairings. Like, we're actually doing random pairings. So we don't necessarily know what we're picking. So I got Hypercrypt Necrons this game. We are playing mission L. So search and destroy, take and hold, and hidden supplies. And we got a medium table. The Necrons went first, so I do have second turn. And so we're just vying for position on the tabletop at the moment as well. And that's it, that's game. We actually have quite a bit left in the round. In 2 turns, I essentially tabled the Necrons. I killed all the 20 warriors, all the wraiths, all the support elements, and all he had left was a Monolith, a DDA, Nightbringer that had to come in, and Lichguard. So my opponent decided that the fight was not going to be had, and that was that. 20-0 for the Drukhari as it hit super hard. The rest of the game should be good, the rest of the match, so we'll see how it ends up. But that is my list doing what it does, and thank you, John the Cron, for all the Necron practice. And last round, I get to play Dennis and is at basically parking lot guard. Lots of chimeras, lots of tanks, a couple of support units, but mainly tanks. Lots and lots of tanks. On Linchpin, search and destroy, and raise banners. The guard going first, which is actually really good for me in Linchpin. Okay, so with that, let's dive into the game. But this is a grudge match. Dennis was like, I want to play you. And so, yeah, even if it's a team event, we're like, whatever, let's see what happens. And we're gonna play. End of the game. Biggest thing, I basically did a Hail Mary play to snipe Ursula Creed that was stuck all the way over there, killed Ursula for 5 points on Assassinate at the end, last turn, and then bossed a 12-inch charge to steal an objective, swinging it to a win for the Drukhari, 11-9 at the bottom of turn 5. What a crazy game. I still think, to be honest, Linchpin is the most imbalanced game of the 9 missions because there's no cap on the scoring, and going second is just incredibly powerful on this mission. However, that is what it is. Dennis, thanks for the game. And let's go back to the studio and take a look at the army and what I'm going to be changing moving forward, because the meta has shifted since the last time that I played the Bombers.
And we're back at the studio. I hope you found that interesting. I did. Well, lost 1 game, won 2 games by the skin of my teeth. I won the last game. That was wild. I can't wait to sort of break that down. But what did I learn about my list? First and foremost, Stutter's a little Stutter Scrub team. We ended up coming in second out of the 4 teams. It was a little round robin, so we all played each other. We drew 1, and then we won 2, and then the team that we drew at the start of the day ended up winning their last 2 as well, but they won them bigger. So that's just kind of how that went. So let's dive into the list and the things that I learned. And will I make any changes, as I have sort of pulled the rust out of the joints and oiled the gears here, because I felt really rusty this event. Of course, this is the list, a quick reminder that we had. Now, what worked really well? Void Raven Bombers are just fantastic. Absolutely love them. Because I'm playing Sky Splinter, the transports are really, really needed. My Haywire Scourge have been giving me love-hate relationship vibes, because they can do like 18 mortal wounds to a tank or devastating wounds to a tank, but for the last little bit, they've been doing 3, 6. You know, they've been really disappointing me. But then again, I have played them a lot, so it's going to happen at some point. Dark Lance Scourge are okay. People are terrified of Dark Lances, so it's good to have like that psychological warfare thing. Beast Pack, amazing. Would never leave home without one. Lilith and Witches, amazing. I don't think she needs to go with a full 10. I run her with the 5, and that's fair enough. And then the other 5 can go around and do actions and stuff like that as well. The 5 incubi on foot, because of the amount of dedicated transports I have, they tend to be on foot. They're like meh, so, you know, that's like something to take a look at. I do like having the 2 Archons. One of them, of course, is the Warlord with the Vect aura, and then the other one that increases the CP cost, and then the other one has nothing. I tend to put this Warlord either with this Archon, either with the Incubi or 1 unit of Cavalites with guns and a Venom, depending on the matchup. However, I feel like I could use this Archon a little better and more focused. The Archon, the Warlord, the Court, and 1 unit of gun Cavalite Warriors is a 10 strong unit. They go in the Raider. That Court unit is incredible. It is a lot of points, like 300 point investment altogether, but it is worth every penny if you use it right. The 2 Chronos are awesome. I love having 2 single Chronos to do actions with and move around the board. They prove to be one of the most reliable units in this army, together with the 2 units of Mandrakes. Uppy, downy Mandrakes, they help screen, they force your opponent to screen, and then they just score points, especially later in the game. If they're still alive, they win me games. So this little core here of these 4 units is a very big part of this army. The Cavalite Warriors are great, high OC, sticky objectives, and of course, in conjunction with the Venoms and the Transports, it gives me a big all-rounder part of the list. However, what I found is I did lack a little bit of killing power, and I wasn't really using the Incubi at all. And also, I was talking to John, who ran my list at the World Team Championship, and so it got me thinking about some of the changes I might want to do to this list. So what am I going to change? Well, I really like the idea of having a large hammer unit that can complement Lilith and the Core of the Archon. However, in order to do that, I do need to drop 1 unit of Cavalite Warriors, because that gives me 110 points to play with. And then I have to drop 1 of these Venoms, because I'm going to have to get another Raider to accommodate the 2 larger squads. So that essentially gives me 180 points to play with. So I'm going to put another Raider in, right? Because that makes sense. And then what I'm going to do, that's right, folks, you saw it here first. I'm going to try, and I think right now in the meta, I think a big unit of Incubi is going to be the name of the game. So that's 75 points. That leaves 30 points in the list for me to play around with, or 25 points to play around with. And at this event, Overwatch, all the flamers I faced was actually a real big pain in the butt. And the more I'm playing, the more I'm thinking, you know what, I should probably try and include the Nightmare Shroud into my army. So on the secondary Archon Warlord, I'm going to give them the Nightmare Shroud. And that is going to be 1,995 points. Now there are I've got 5 points left over. There's a couple of things I could potentially do to switch around some of these points and whatnot. But 5 points left over means that when there's a point update, potentially, like I've got 5 points as a floating points that I can maybe use elsewhere, or it helps like rejig the list. But all in all, I am losing, the ability to have like an additional unit. But I'm putting Incubi in a transport. I'm having a second hammer unit. I keep the same amount of dedicated transports. I include a denial of Overwatch sort of mechanic, and I still have a lot of the MSU that I really enjoy in the list itself. But give it some more damage output, which I was really finding that I needed towards the mid area of the game, once sort of like the Void Raven Bombers had kind of killed most of the chaff. And there you have it, folks. 2,000 points, brand new Drukhari list, now with 10 Incubi. But let me know what you think with a comment down below.
And there you have it. Tournament in review, built a list, developed a list, learnt some stuff, and then rejigged the list. It's one of the best ways to play the game. Is to play a list over and over again and slowly tweak it and fine tune it. And it's okay to make decisions that then you change. Like I've been against the 10-man Incubi unit or the Nightmare Shroud. I haven't really found a use for it, but the meta changes. The meta adapts. So it is time to see if that works. And I'm going to be playing that a lot. Of course, I've got a battle report tomorrow, which I'm going to be playing. And that should be up later in the week. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. And a huge shout out to all the channel Patreons, without whom none of this is possible. If you'd like to support the channel, the best way is on Patreon. The link is in the description down below.
Free ways to support the channel: like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, let the algorithm gods know you're watching, and like that I can continue to do more content like this. Of course, shout out to the Tabletop Forge in Barrie, Ontario, Canada, where I have my little studio here as well. Make sure you check them out. And after all, I've been Skari, and I hope you've learned something. Signing off until next time. Skari out. The Dark Kin. Bye, everybody.